Hi guys, welcome to Football Up NG. Now we are going to be looking at the weekend review in the Premier League. It's going to be a very interesting weekend, and we are going to take you one after the other in all the Premier League matches happening this weekend. But for this video, for the sake of this video, we are actually concentrating on Manchester United and versus Burnley. So you guys, if you actually like this, please like, subscribe, follow, and also share our videos across all social media platforms. Now let's dive into today's business. Today's business is Manchester United versus Burnley, the match review for tomorrow. Well, this weekend at Old Trafford, Manchester United hosts Burnley in the Premier League clash that feels bigger than it looks on paper. Seriously. Both sides are desperate for points because both sides haven't actually gotten 3 points in the first opening two games, but for very different reasons. Well, Manchester United, I actually see them struggling. They are actually struggling because they won 1-0 home loss against Arsenal and a 1-1 draw at the Craven Cottage against Fulham last week was a very big disaster for them. And I hope Amorim is actually actually knows what he's doing to actually bring the team back to its old glory. It's been a rocky start for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Shocking midweek exit to the League Two side, Grimsby Town in the League Cup has actually piled the pressure on United. United came back from a 2-0 down to force penalties against a League Two side. That is very serious. But Brian Mbomo missed the decisive spot kick. That is the last one. The penalty ended 12-11 between Grimsby and Manchester United, sealing one of the most embarrassing defeats in the club's modern history. That's very embarrassing defeat for Manchester United to lost in the League Cup against the League Two side Grimsby. Well, in the league, things haven't been much better for them actually. Things haven't been much better for them actually. A narrow 1-win, 1-0 defeat at Arsenal on opening day and followed by a 1-1 draw with Fulham last weekend, where Bruno Fernandes squandered a penalty before Rodrigo Muniz's own goal was cancelled out by Emily Smith-Rowe. The numbers tell their own story. That's just it. Everything we have to face is just the numbers. Since the start of April, United have collected just 6 points in the Premier League, the fewest of any present side in the Premier League. Even more worrying, Old Trafford is no longer the fortress it once was. It is no longer the theater of dream. It's now the theater of defeat for Manchester United. Well, they've lost 8 of their last 13 home league games. More than any other top flight side in that spell alongside Spurs. That is very bad start for Manchester United. Your theater of dream is tearing apart. Amorim, you need to fix this or you get sacked. Manchester United fans, what do you think about Amorim? Should he wait or he should get sacked? Just drop a comment in the comment section. But Burnley's position, we can never forget that. Burnley, at the other side, meanwhile, arrived with renewed confidence after a 2-0 win over Sunderland last weekend. Jaidon Anthony and Josh Cullen were the stars of the show last weekend against Sunderland, each scoring and assisting. The results ended a 4-game losing streak for Burnley. Though the Clarets still haven't managed back-to-back Premier League victories since April 2022. Before that's it, they've not actually had a back-to-back Premier League win since April 2022. Manager Scott Parker haven't won consecutive top flight games since 2019, and his history isn't on his side here. He has been there since his previous clubs. Burnley have won just one in their last 25 visits to Old Trafford. They've only won one in their last 25 visits to Old Trafford, all across competitions, not only in the Premier League. Still, English managers have won their last two away matches at United. Eddie Howe with Newcastle and Graham Potter with West Ham. Parker will be hoping to make it 3 in a row. Sometimes something that has never happened before. That has never happened before in the history of Manchester United. That is just it for English managers to come and win 2 straight away visits at Old Trafford. So can Scott Parker do that? Let's wait and see. Tomorrow we would know. Well, we have some key players and their storylines. Now we have Bruno Fernandes, which is Manchester United captain. Well, he's been decisive against promoted team. Very, very, very decisive against promoted team. With 10 goals involvement in his last 8 such games. He also created 9 chances against Burnley last April when they met. The most of any player in the Premier League match that season. He created 9 chances against Burnley last season, and that is the most for any Premier League player last season. Which is in Fulham, we shall see his recent impact versus Manchester United. His own goal actually helped United last week because United goal is an own goal from Rodrigo Muniz. But he showed how dangerous he is with late goals. Burnley's defense will want to avoid similar laps. They want to avoid an own goal from any of their players. Well, another player I'll be looking into is Kyle Walker, who is a Burnley player, because the guy actually knows Old Trafford player because Old Trafford very, very well because he is a veteran player. With 6 career wins there, he has actually won 6 times at Old Trafford. The joint most of any player in the Premier League era. That is us it. Victory here would make him part of the selected group to do so with 3 different clubs. But Kyle Walker is a very, very great player, and I hope he can actually do that against Manchester United tomorrow. He did it with Tottenham, he did it with Manchester City, and now if you actually do it with Burnley, it's going to be a player that actually won Manchester United at Old Trafford with 3 different clubs. That's very, very good stats. Well, let's look at their head-to-head and key stats. United are unbeaten in 23 Premier League games against promoted sides. That's they've actually won 20 and drew 3 against any promoted side. Their last defeat came against Watford in 2021, and the day Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lost his job as Manchester United player. Burnley hasn't won at Old Trafford since 2020, but a victory here would see them match United's points total in the league since April. That's very, very serious. Ruben Amorim win rate at United is just 35.6%, which is the lowest of any Red Devils manager since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement. That is very, very poor start for Ruben Amorim. Well, now let's look at the predicted. Look at the team news for both United and Burnley. For Manchester United, Lisandro Martinez remains out long term, while Mazraoui could return from injury, but that is still a doubt. Burnley, Adoni and Benson. Adli, Benson, Roberts, and Jordan Bayer are all sidelined. Now, let's look at the predicted lineup for both teams. For Manchester United, we still have Onana in goal. We have Euro Delight and Shaw at the back. We have Casemiro and Fernandes in the midfield. We have Diallo, Dogu, Umbomo, and Mount forward, and we have Kuya up front. So that's the predicted lineup for Manchester United against Burnley tomorrow. And for Burnley, we have Dubravka, which is their number one goalkeeper. We have Walker, Ekdal, Ekstev, Atman as their defender. We have Ugochukwu and Cullen as their midfielder, as in at the heart of the midfield. We have Lassen, Mejbri, and Anthony forward, and we have Foster up front as their top nine tomorrow. That is the predicted lineup from Football Hub NG for Burnley against Manchester United tomorrow. And we have some betting tips for you. And Manchester United to win. That's the betting tips that we have for you for this match. Manchester United to win, and the scoreline could be 2-1. That is the betting tips we have for you for that match. So stay tuned with us at football.ng for you to have more analysis on your favorite football games. So like, follow, subscribe, and always stay tuned, glued to her page for you to get more of this exciting football review. Thank you. God bless.